Zach with Web3 Reviews. Thank you for being with us. Today it is Saturday, May 3rd, and we're going to be talking about the crypto market. Let's go. Saturday special coming at you. Man, this is the start of the dollar cost average series. First, let's talk about what Mr. Man says is happening in this economy. Most have no idea what's really going on in the US, so I'll break it down. Donald Trump is using executive orders in 2025 to exercise expansive emergency powers that were originally granted by Congress through a law called the International Economic Powers Act, or the IEEPA. The EPA, as I like to call it. This law allows the president to declare a national emergency in response to any unusual and extraordinary threat that comes from outside the United States, and once that emergency is declared, the president can then control, freeze assets, block transactions, restrict exports, and impose tariffs, all without needing Congress to approve each action individually. While Congress technically authorizes this power, once it's granted, the president can renew it every year, and in practice, these emergencies often remain in effect for decades unless Congress actively revokes them, which it rarely does. According to Jim Rickards, and as the legal record confirms, the authority starts with Congress but becomes essentially a long leash for the executive branch. What we're seeing now is Trump using these powers not just for national security or sanctions, but to reshape economic and financial policy by executive order. He's imposing tariffs on countries like Canada, Mexico, China, Venezuela by framing them as threats to the U.S. energy and economic security. This allows him to bypass Congress on tariff policy, even though trade powers are constitutionally supposed to reside with the legislature. In another example, Trump's January 23, 2025 executive order directly bans CBDCs in the U.S., stating they pose a threat to individual privacy and the financial sovereignty of the country. That same order encourages the use of USD-backed stablecoins, giving the Treasury and private sector blockchain issuers the green light to develop digital dollar alternatives. Although this isn't framed as an IEEPA action, it follows the same logic. Define a problem as an emergency, then use executive power to impose a solution. Trump is also using these powers to regulate technology and supply chains, placing restrictions on our exports of sensitive tools like semiconductors and artificial intelligence chips. He's invoking national security again to justify these moves. We're seeing similar actions around rare earth minerals, energy infrastructure, and anything that touches critical systems, including digital platforms and cloud computing. All of this ties into digital adoption because it clears the legal pathway for the executive branch to push the United States toward a new digital financial infrastructure without needing to wait for Congress. When Trump bans CBDCs and promotes dollar-backed stablecoins, he's not just taking a stance on currency, he's choosing which version of the digital financial future the U.S. should adopt. By rejecting government-issued programmable money and favoring blockchain-based, private sector innovation tied to the U.S. dollar, he's reshaping how digital money will function, who controls it, and how it connects to the broader trade and regulatory environment. This approach fits perfectly into the broader timeline I've been building. As other countries move forward with multi-CBDCs and cross-border payment systems, the U.S. is carving out a distinct path, one that uses emergency powers to protect national sovereignty while fostering digital adoption through stablecoins, smart contract platforms, and alternative rails like RippleNet and Stellar. Executive orders are becoming the backbone of this shift, sidestepping the delays of legislative negotiation and allowing the White House to set the pace for how digital systems, identity, money, and compliance infrastructure are all rolled out. RLUSD right in plain sight from the Treasury. It's a 2-minute video. I'm not going to make it sit through that. And there it is. We have these 4 stablecoins listed. PYUSD, which is PayPal USD, interesting. RLUSD, USDC, Circle, and Tether USDT. Think about that. What a list, man. RLUSD made the list. Let's go, Ripple. Of course, Trump's going to use these powers to change the game and to benefit XRP and the US people. You thought we were going to choose a China coin? The fuck did you think this was? China? Come on, bro. We choose USA technology. The government doesn't build technologies, they adopt, dude. And we adopt the best technology. We don't adopt whatever the fuck people are saying we should because we're some feel-good motherfuckers. Get that through your head, dude. It's going to be the best tech that wins. You go to the car lot, they say, hey, here are your options. You got a Ford Model T, you got a gas guzzler, and you got the ultra-efficient hybrid engine, which has been tested and proven true. Oh yeah, and by the way, the first 2 I mentioned are way more expensive than the hybrid. You'd be like, what are we talking about, dude? I don't want the Ford Model T and I don't want the gas guzzler. And I'm talking about Ethereum and Bitcoin. Okay, Ford Model T is Bitcoin. It's that old Model T, the first car ever made. It should be sitting in a museum somewhere, just people looking at it, collecting dust. And ETH being that gas guzzler, man. Every time you want to send ETH, there's a gas fee. And I don't care if it's low volume that day and it's less than another day. Dude, the fact of the matter is, I've spent so much money on ETH fees, it made me not like ETH. There's no coming back, okay? I'd like to can badger dance the way into all your hearts, but it's not coming to me, because I'm not here for it. I'm not here for that nonsense, man. Like Brad Garlinghouse, man. We're talking a Harvard business grad, AOL chair, Yahoo chair, and now the Ripple CEO. He represents Ripple well, man. Every time he goes on TV, he's saying some real shit. I appreciate Brad for that. So, man, 8 years into the game. I've been in crypto for 8 years, and I've never made a buy that was big. All my buys have been a few $100 at a time, $50 at a time, whatever I could spare, man. Because that's the type of work I was doing. I was doing work that was in fields that didn't pay very much. But I knew it wasn't about how much you made, it was about how much you were able to stash away. And dude, I'm not talking about stuffing dollar bills into your bed, because that's dummy shit, man. I remember seeing Little Boozy's movie before he went to jail. Every time he had a show and he'd get paid $28K, he'd put it all under his bed. Dude, next year, your dollars are going to be worth less bread and gasoline than they are now. That's just how things work. It's how they incentivize you to invest in companies by sending the dollar lower and lower. It forces people to play the game, all right? Now, those that play the game well end up being rewarded exponentially. So you dollar cost average. That's how I've always played the game. And that means that instead of buying that $15 burrito at lunch, you find something for $5. Find a way to buy $15 of bread, peanut butter, and honey, and you have lunch for 5 days. So instead of spending $75 that week on lunch, you only spent $15. Dude, 75 times 4, all right? What are we talking about here? We're talking about $500 a month. That's $6,000 a year. Just because you didn't fucking buy lunch, you withheld, you were disciplined, and you didn't buy $15 burritos at lunch. You know, sometimes lunch can be more than that. Oh, you want to get a drink? Now we're talking $17, $18. You want a milkshake? $20, all right? Dude, shit's expensive, man, at least where I'm at. I'm in Seattle, bro. People say this is the same cost of living as Dubai. Like fucking New York City, it's like LA over here, man. It's a metropolitan area. And even when you go to the sticks, people are charging you those Seattle prices, all right? So dollar cost average series. This is a series of me talking about how I was able to overcome. I'm not talking about starving yourself, all right? You got to maintain yourself, man. You need food to keep the bad thoughts from slipping in. You know what they say in Alcoholics Anonymous? If you have one of these 4 things going on, you might be going to use. That's if you're hungry. That's if you're tired. That's if you're lonely. And that's if you're upset. Dude, if you have one of these 4 things going on, you might be going to spend some money on yourself just to make yourself feel better. You have to be able to sit in your own skin, man. You have to be able to sit in your own skin, eat snacks at home, go for a walk, do something that doesn't require spending money, and know that you're putting away this money for your future self, dude, because you're going to enjoy that time in the future. You can survive a little more struggle now, man. You can survive another PB and honey sandwich. It's not the end of the world. When I worked at Amazon back in 2019, I was in this van, man, and the shift was 11 to 8 p.m. You would show up at 10:30. You would be given the keys to your van, different van every day. You would drive it to the loading dock where you would load up the van, and then you would head out on the road, man. And your shift was over when you finished delivering, or 8 p.m. If you weren't finished delivering by 8 p.m., you would go back to the docking station, okay? And you would get $200 a shift. You would get paid 10 hours times $20 an hour every day, no matter if you finished your shift early or not. But what they told you was, hey, that's 40 hours a week right there for 4 days, 10-hour shifts, 4 days a week. And it's a physically grueling job. Now, the only rule at Amazon was you could not work more than 6 days in a row. Dude, I took that to heart. I worked 6 days every week. 5th and 6th day were all fucking time and a half. I needed to do that shit, man. It kept me fucking grinding. Man, I'm that guy who just pulls up my calculator and does little simple numbers. Oh, you're telling me if I'm making $800 a week on 4 shifts of 200, that's only $3,200 at the end of the month. That's before taxes and everything. I need that 5th and 6th day so I could even make a reasonable wage so I could invest. The best way to invest more is to make more, all right? That means picking up another job. That means getting your skills up. That means switching careers. You don't want to be in a dead-end career that's going to never end up paying you what you need to get paid to support your family. Now, I understand what we're saying here is it's not about what you make, it's about what you can save. But it does help if you make more. And so I'm in that Amazon van, and I made lunch every day, man. Sometimes it'd be 2, 3 peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Peanut butter and honey was the way I was rocking, really. You know, that honey would kind of harden on the bread over time, bro, because you weren't eating it right after. It's kind of a little crunch to it. They say honey is good for you, man. Hey, I'll have a health series later for y'all. I was a college athlete. I'm turning 30 this year. I'm still in good shape, okay? We can talk about health another time. I drink. I do whatever I want. I eat whatever I want. I'm in good shape, all right? We can talk about it. It's not that big of a deal. We can talk about that later. This is a crypto channel. I'm talking to you about how we can buy crypto, all right? And a part of buying that crypto, too, and saving for your future is being in good enough mental and physical shape to enjoy your future. What's the point of it now if you're going to fuck over your future self, all right? Take care of yourself now and take care of your future self. And how you have to do that is take care of your mind, your body, and your spirit. Take care of your mind, your body, and your spirit, man. Invest money in good assets that are going to fucking do really well over the next 10 to 15 years. I'm an XRP guy. I'm a Flare guy. I'm an algorand guy. I'm an HBar guy. I like Karate Combat. I like Metaflora, Osmi AI, the Deep Network, Gala Film, Gala Music, Gala Games. If you're in the Gala ecosystem, I'm rocking with you. But I don't think you should have too many baskets. It took me 8 years to get these baskets built up. Choose an asset that speaks to you and fucking go long, man. Believe in something. Believe in yourself. Believe in the fact that your future self is going to be thankful for your actions now. I believe in you, man. Hey, for what it's worth, I know you can do it. If I did it, you can do it. I was a dishwasher at the Cheesecake Factory, bro. I made $11 an hour, all right? A dishwasher at the Cheesecake Factory, $11 an hour. You know what the perk was of that job? You got 1 free meal a day. If you weren't feeling food that day, because what happens in the kitchen is you get real sick of food, you could take a milkshake. Yeah, buddy. You want a milkshake? You want a slice of cheesecake for the ride home? Do what you got to do, man, you know? Anything to help keep you alive, dog. Food will make you feel better about things, all right? It will. I know I'm talking about taking care of yourself. Not saying go grab a Snickers off the shelf. What about an apple or a pineapple, big dog, you know? Exchange one artificial sugar, one sugary drink for some water and a fruit, man. Fruit is not bad sugar. You can eat as much of it as you want. I'm on this dollar cost average series. Fruit helped me get there, okay? Bro, when I was at lunch, my AT&T and T-Mobile days, I worked right next to a grocery store. I would go in there, bro, and I would buy a plum, dude. It was like $1.25. I would go in there and I'd buy a plum and I'd rinse it off at work and I'd eat it. Dude, you ever been hungry? You ever skipped breakfast and then the first thing you eat is fruit at like lunchtime and then you keep hitting this fucking fruit and water fast? You can have as much fruit and water as you want, dude. You can have a salad if you want. The point is, though, is nothing heavy, nothing greasy. Dude, the reason why you do this is to stay electric, but also to save money. You do this to save money, all right? If you're going to the store and you're looking to buy a piece of fruit, dude, you're doing this to save money. If you're skipping breakfast or you're eating an egg at home, all right? You're eating a piece of toast, maybe a bagel, some oatmeal, whatever it is, man, you're eating at home. All right. At lunch, you're skipping lunch. You're drinking a bunch of water all day. You're not buying bottled water. You're just drinking from the fountain. You got your own water bottle, whatever it is. All right. Bro, you got to think of this. Every dollar you spend, you're going to have to work to get back, dude. I'm not saying don't spend on anything because you have to. You have to buy your fruit. You have to buy your meals for your meal prep at the end of the day. That way, you don't have to make dinner every night. That's what we're going to get into here in a second. I took my wife on our anniversary to a nice place. I took her to a nice restaurant. We got an expensive lasagna. It was a spinach lasagna. The noodles were real soft, all right? My wife said they could have been overcooked. They were so soft. I thought they were just right, man. They were real tender noodles, all right? We ordered a steak too. But we spent $150 in this place because we got a drink and it was our anniversary, so we felt good, you know? We wanted to be out there living that high dining experience. We get the steak and it's good. There's nothing wrong with the steak, but my wife tells me that I make a better steak than these guys. Dude, you gotta love to hear that, man. You know, when you buy a steak at the store, it might be $15, right? You go home and you cook it, it's free to do. You go to Applebee's, that same steak is $20. It's not even that same steak you get at the grocery store for 15. You go to Applebee's, they're giving you a little thin guy, okay? No one wants a little thin steak, man, all right? Get a big, fat, juicy steak. I think you can survive on very little. I think we've been lied to about needing 3 meals a day. You know, there's an old Egyptian proverb, and it said 1/3 of what you eat kept you alive, and 2/3 of what you ate kept your doctor alive, saying he was going to get money for all the diseases that you were fucking putting in your body and then needed his help to relieve yourself of. So you eat really well, man. You eat clean, okay? You don't eat greasy foods. You know how you can tell if something's clean? How it makes you feel. Dr. Sebi said it, dude. Dr. Sebi said food should make you feel electric. And what I'm getting at on the skipping breakfast, drinking water, and then eating fruit is, dude, by the time midday starts rolling around, you almost start feeling like you got a superpower. You start feeling a little jittery. You start feeling a little electric current running through your body, bro. Usually after lunch, I was fucking tired, dude. I needed a nap. I was out here eating burritos. I was out here eating fried chicken. Stepped my game up, dude. I stopped eating as much. This was making me feel greasy, dude. I don't want to feel greasy, man. I want to feel energetic. I want to feel electric. We only get this one life, bro, and our bodies are fucking machine, dude. The energy you put in is going to end up being the fuel that you're operating on. So here's the deal. You buy these steaks at the store. You go home. You rip open the package. You fucking grab your meat cleaver. I got this one on Amazon for $10. It's a Thor hammer. I think Nordic shit is cool. I'm Scandinavian. Fucking Thor hammer. Bam. I'm beating my meat, dog. Get your head out the gutter. So pound this shit down. It's a thick steak. Make it a little thinner, okay? This is so it's gonna cook nice and even, okay? Salt and pepper one side. Just salt and pepper the shit out of it. I'm lazy, bro. The thing about being a cook is you gotta be lazy. This isn't the fucking cooking channel. I'm showing you what I'm doing to save money. And also, I like to save time, dude. You go to a restaurant, it takes time. You have to drive there. You have to sit down. You have to wait on somebody else to fucking bring you shit. Dude, it takes 7 minutes to cook a steak. Get your pan hot as shit. I like to use a cast iron, okay? If you got a grill outside, fine. It's going to be the same. I use a cast iron. Here's what you're going to do. Salt and pepper the shit out of your steak after you beat it. You let it sit out for 10 to 15 minutes because it's aerating, it's cooling down. It's been in this plastic container or whatever. Bro, throw the side with the salt and pepper up on the grill. Okay, throw the steak on the grill, salt and pepper side up. If you have a cast iron pan that's seasoned, the bottom of that fucking steak is gonna be getting a nice sear on it. You have your pan up to like fucking 7 out of 10, all right? Should be at medium high. Should be hot as shit. Throw some butter or some olive oil on right before you throw your steak on. You only wanna flip your steak like 2 or 3 times. Your first flip, you'll see how that sear is looking. You want it to be a nice sear, dude. You don't want it to be burnt. You want it to be seared, okay? So wait 2 to 3 minutes. Your pan's fucking hot. You throw your steak on with your butter or your olive oil. You hit 2 to 3 flips. You hold the sides down on that pan, all right? Hold the sides down so it gets some nice heat. Take it off, dude. Once it's seared really well on all sides, take it off. You don't want to overcook your steak. Let that bad boy sit for 20 minutes. Fucking cut it in half, dude. See how you did. Hopefully you cooked it a little bit less than medium rare, because what we're going to do next is cut up whatever you're eating in that moment. Cut up whatever you're eating into the bite-sized pieces you want. throw it back on your cast iron, throw whatever sauce you're planning on eating it with. If you're eating Mexican food, you got some taco seasoning or whatever. I like this Japanese barbecue sauce from Costco. Dump a little of this on your steak, man. Spin it around on the grill. This stuff usually burns if it gets too hot, so you want your grill in a low temperature, and you don't want to overcook your steak. You already got a beautiful sear. You already got a little less than medium rare. What you're doing is you're just fusing that sauce to the steak, giving it a little extra heat. It turns out fucking money, dude. It turns out money. And depending how you like your steak cooked, bring it to there every day. Now you got these pieces in the fridge that you're then going to do the same thing with tomorrow. Whatever you want to eat, whether it's steak and eggs, all right, just throw some more salt and pepper on depending if it's needed, all right? You heat it up on the cast iron. Bring it to wherever you like to eat it at. You cooked it a little bit less than medium rare. Steak sits in the fridge for 3 to 5 days, man. Go buy a bagged salad. Go make a pot of rice. Damn, you got a meal right there. Rice, salad, steak. Dude, get some chips, get some cheese. You got nachos, all right? Infinite meals, man. You have some meat ready in the fridge, and you just decide what meal you want. Dollar cost average series, dude. I took my wife out for a $150 meal for our anniversary. She told me I'll make a better steak than these guys. I was like, hey, I appreciate that. That's why you're my wife, you know? And that's good. We're not taking you here every day. I'm not taking you here once a month even. This is a once-a-year anniversary thing. At home, I'm going to be making steak every day, man. I'm going to be making meals my family likes. I'm going to be making meals that it only takes me a few seconds to make. I don't want to spend a long time doing this. I want to fucking bust it out. I want to get it done. Zach with Web3 Reviews. Thank you for being with us, man. Dollar cost average. Get into the game. Own some crypto. Get on a rich list or two. XRP, Flare, Algorand. You in the game or not, bucko? Until next time, guys. Have a great weekend.